Okay, we're out here at the Chevrolet Traverse again. Been having some questions on the repair that I made on the heater hoses, and so let's see if we can show you those quick. As you can see, the hose clamps that I installed are still holding well. As a matter of fact, the other one broke. That one down there is the one I repaired the first time. This one broke, and I repaired it as well using the same method. And as you can see, it's dry. There's no leaks anywhere, and everything's working really, really well. But that's not the point of this video. That's just a quick update for those that may be curious about how the converting that quick connect to a more traditional hose clamp method has been working so far, and it's been working quite well. All right, so what we're here to do today is, the other day I replaced the starter, and you know, nothing good to say about the starter position on this engine, but what we're here to do today is to replace the gaskets on the catalytic converter. In order to change the starter, I had to remove the lower motor mount and the catalytic converter, which is just below this guard right here, and you need new gaskets on the catalytic converter. I was in a time crunch the day that I had to replace the starter, so I just put the catalytic converter right back in, but the gaskets are totally gone, and so we're going to replace those today. So no video on the starter, but once we get down there, I'll kind of show you what all I had to do and everything else. All right, first things first, we need to get that guard off, and we need to unplug the sensor to take that cover out. All right, now to undo this sensor, there's this little push pointless clip thing here. You gotta pull that thing out, and then you can unplug it like normal. All right, so now that cover's off, we've got three nuts right here that we have to take off. So let's see if we can get those off of there. Those 3 bolts on the cover were 10 millimeter, in case you were wondering, and these, I believe, are a 15 or a 13. Not sure which. Yeah, 15. Like I said, I've already had this off once, so this looks easier than it really is. The first time was actually quite difficult to get these to break loose. All right, that's it for up here. Everything else is below deck, so let's get set up down there. Chalk the wheels so it doesn't roll off on me. we go. So, right, these two bolts right here, and that bolt right there have to come out. That bolt is a bracket that holds the catalytic converter on, and these two bolts are the bolts that hold the catalytic converter to the exhaust pipe. So we got to bust them off of there, right there, get those off, and then we can take the catalytic converter out relatively freely. Need a wrench for that. Okay, that's loose. I think these are 13s down here, so we're gonna take these off. And that's it. And again, I've already done this once, so it's gonna look easier than it really was. Had to be real careful not to break these, because they're, you know, exhaust bolts, they just want to break. They get hot and cold and hot and cold, and you know, I don't know if you've ever been hot and cold, but whenever you go from 110 degrees down to 60 degrees inside, like a fridge or something, you want to break too. Break from work. Here we are underneath the car, zippity-doo-dahing these nuts off. Yeah. Nope, still a little snug over here. Yep. Got a little bit of an oil leak right here. Y'all can't see it, but that's why you check your oil. Or is that the transmission? Yep, definitely is. Okay. Little squeaky, squeaky, squeaky. Is that driving any of y'all crazy? We're just gonna set these right in the dirt. That's how we do it around here. Right. I got this bolt loose, which is a bracket. For it. May need a little more help here. Continue wrenching on it. Oh yeah, there we go. Okay. Get this bolt out of here with my hands. My finger, my first finger and my thumb. I'm using my opposable thumb to do work. Okay, bolt's out. I'm gonna put it in the dirt with these nuts. Okay. Now that everything's loose, maybe I can just do that right there, and then potentially get that loose over there. And then which way are we going? Which way are we gonna go? This way? That way? Nope. This way? Over here? Nope. Oh boy, here we go. Get that. Get out over there. Then over here. Well, that doesn't want to work. Then over here. I did this once. I was over there where you're at though, so now everything's extra difficult. There we go. Might work. Oh yeah, she's coming. Okay, catalytic converter. This is what all the the dope heads are after right here. This is what got all the good stuff in it. We're not here to steal it though, we're here to fix it. All right, let's get out from underneath the core and put some gaskets on. What do you say? They appear to be the same thing. Maybe a touch different, but it should work. I don't know. Maybe it... I don't know, they seem a touch different. But that's got to be good. I bet it smashes down. All right, so that's the top side. Here's the old bottom side. I don't know, these seem a little different. It's not the right one, is it? It's not the right thing. Well, all right, well, see, this is real life right here. We got the wife out mowing the yard. She's out there just having fun, getting a suntan, mowing grass, accomplishing two things at once, and I'm out here failing at life. Ordered gaskets, thought I had the right ones. Literally, parts store. It's not an Amazon deal. This is parts store, and I'm not going to say their name because I like them. But I got the wrong stuff, and I was curious about the little one, but I thought maybe it would collapse. But then the big one doesn't even fit. So now, I say the big one, the flat one. So, all right, well, we're going to go see if we can get the right set of gaskets. I'm going to go to Fort Smith, and yeah, nothing like. You know what I mean? Okay. Okay, I'm back with new parts. Okay. So here we've got, and these are lining up pretty good with each other, and they're the same. So this is the right part. Yeah, and that fits the way you would expect it to. So that's very good. And then we've got this one, which, while different in material, the bolt holes appear to line up good enough. It looks like we're going to get good coverage in our pipe. So let's see how this fits. Yeah, and that's going to work. Okay, so now what we need to do is reinstall this thing with the new gaskets in. All right, while we're down here, let's discuss the engineering failures that are ever present with this vehicle. Right there's the starter. And as you can see, this is the motor mount. here's the motor mount, right? There's the rubber. And I put a new one of these on there because the old one was bad. So, I mean, you know, blessing in disguise, I guess. But the starter is right here. And if you just take the catalytic converter out, you can't get to the wiring on the back side of the starter, which is over there somewhere. And then if you just take the motor mount out, you have a hard time getting to the bolts because the catalytic converter's in the way, and you're having to work around over the top of the catalytic converter to get the starter out. And I just don't understand why we're doing things like this. I'm not gonna lie, feels pretty intentional. So anyway, that's what it took to change the starter out. Those 2 bolts, which thank the Lord they didn't put a 3rd bolt back in on top of that. Otherwise, that would have been a lot worse. But you got to get these wire connectors out from under here, and then you got to keep your guard, and it's a whole deal. But anyway, that's done. But now we're moving on back over to the old catalytic converter. I got the new gasket in there. Oh, almost forgot the new gasket. I'm glad you said something. I got it. Okay. Now, get this buttoned up tight before we tighten that bolt up. Oh yeah. All right, that's tight. Okay, now that we've got that done, let's lower her down and get back up top and get it all put back together up there. Okay, bolts are back in. Put the nuts back on. I'll tell you that. And then it somehow got right back on top of that thing. There we go. Bless. Hardest part of the whole job. We're tightening up. Almost done. Tightening up. Start is back on. Okay. We need to reattach the sensors so that we don't have a check engine light come on. Put that thing back in there, whatever it does. It's to prevent the, its designation is to prevent the clasp from unclasping itself somehow. But we'll put it in there, even though it seems a little bit of a redundant behavior, but you got to put a clasp on the clasp. That's what you're doing. You're clasping the clasp. Broke the leg of my tripod while I was filming this, so it's another sacrifice for the YouTubes. All right. Well, now that the wife is done mowing, let's start this thing up and see if it's been repaired. It sounds good. I don't hear any leaks at all. So that's a really good sign. Oh yeah.